Hey developers, I hope you're doing good. So I received a lot of requests to create a Tailwind CSS course from scratch. And before I start the course, I wanted to create a video explaining why we need Tailwind CSS, what are the problems with writing custom CSS, and why Tailwind CSS is getting so much popular these days. So before we start, if you go to npmjs.com and search for Tailwind CSS, you will see weekly downloads here. And in the current week, we have 29 million downloads. So this explains how much popular Tailwind CSS is getting day by day. So now let me open the presentation again. So before we move forward, I just wanted to let you know that this video is going to be a little longer than my other videos because I want to explain everything related to custom CSS and Tailwind CSS. So here we have Tailwind CSS, which is a utility first approach to design modern websites. So first, let's understand the problems of writing custom CSS. So imagine you are a web designer and you are designing a website where you have to design a card for a team member. So let's have the card design. So for example, you want to design this card for a team member on the website. So this is the name, this is the description, and this is the image of a team member. So if you go to write HTML for that, you will write something like this. So this is a div with the class name team member. You have an image with the team member image. You have team member details. You have team member bio. So if you're going to write the CSS is going to be like this one. So we have team member, we have width, we have overflow hidden, background, team member image, team member details, team member bio. So this is what we do when we are writing custom CSS. So now let's go forward and we have a new requirement from the client, and he says that he needs a blog section on the website same like this. So if you are going to write the CSS and HTML for that, this is going to be something like this one. So this is the HTML for the blog post. So we have a div element with the class blog, we have a blog image, we have a div with blog details, we have heading, we have paragraph, we have learn more container, and then a button for learn more. So this is going to be the HTML, and if we are going to write the CSS, it will look something like this one. So we have the blog, 300 pixel, blog image, blog details, blog post, learn more container, and learn more button. So the HTML and CSS is looking like the same one as we did for the team member. So if we compare the both cards, so if we compare the team member card and the blog post card, and if we are comparing the code look like same too. As you can see, we have team member, we have blog here. The width is 300 pixel, the width is 300 pixel. So overflow hidden, overflow hidden. So this section is similar to this section. So we have a team member image, we have blog image. So this CSS is similar to this CSS. So same like that, we have team member details, we have blog. So we have so many things common in both of these code blocks, and these are duplication. And you know what? Duplication is not good. But how can we solve this problem? We don't want the duplication. We want reusable code. So let's say we try to find a solution, and solution is to generalize the classes. So what we do, we stop using the team member, we stop using the blog post, we generalize the classes with the card. So let's say we have a div now with the class card, we have card image instead of the team member image, instead of the blog post image, we have the card image. And we have a div with the card details, we have a description, card description. So now we have CSS for that, and instead of using the team member, we have used the card, same for the image and details and description as well. So now after a few days, client comes again and he says that, you know what, I have a new requirement. Can you make the blog post card rounded and add the date of the blog? And this is common in the industry that client will come again and he will ask for the changes, and you have to do those changes. So now the new requirement is to make the card rounded and add the date of the blog post, same like this one. So what is going to be the solution now? You might be scratching your head that how I can solve this problem. Now we have two different solutions for that. The first one is to duplicate the original class names and add border radius. So let's understand what I mean. So what you will be going to do is going to create a new class like card rounded and add border radius to it. And the second solution is to invent a new class and use it in addition to the card class. So this is the second solution. We have the card same as it is, and we have invented a new class with blog dash dash rounded dash card, and we have applied both of these classes to make the blog post card rounded. To me, the second solution is better than the first one, but still this is a problem that we have to invent a new class name. So now let's move forward and let's try to understand the other problems of writing custom CSS. So inventing a new class name for everything is not a good idea. So this rounded blog post card was just one example of the changes. You will have so many other changes that client want to add. And what about the responsiveness? That you have to write the media queries in everything, and you have to maintain the media queries whenever the design is changes. You have to edit those media queries. The third is like whenever the project is scaling, CSS is really hard to maintain. And this is true. I'm pretty sure that if you have worked on a project that scaled, you probably had so many difficulties in maintaining CSS. And another thing is to understand the existing CSS code. So if you are a new developer on a project that is already developed and you have to maintain it, understanding the CSS is really hard, and it's a nightmare for the developers. So people will say, okay, what about Bootstrap? So to be honest, I have used Bootstrap in the past. I still prefer Bootstrap when I have to do things quickly. So let's understand what is Bootstrap and why people still prefer Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is easy to set up. There is no doubt about that. And if you are like going to design a website where you have to quickly set up a page, you have to quickly add sign up or login page or other things, then Bootstrap is really good because it provides different modals, buttons, cards, and other different components. And also Bootstrap offer you mobile responsive components, so you don't have to worry about the mobile responsive stuff. It really helps design quickly. And as I have mentioned earlier, that if I have to design something quickly, I will still prefer Bootstrap. But let's move forward. And what about this design? If you have this design and you want to design in Bootstrap, can you do it in Bootstrap? Of course you can, but it is not easy to design this in Bootstrap because you have to write custom CSS. There is no exact code in the Bootstrap that you will be using. We have another example, as this design is also going to be very hard to design in Bootstrap because there is no card which is exactly same like this one. So there are still problems with the Bootstrap, and the first one is the limitation in the design. They have a limited design they offer, so you have to limit to that design if you are not writing custom CSS. Bootstrap projects is also hard to maintain because you have to write custom CSS to match the exact design. And third one is that you have to import the code in your project that you are not going to use. So for instance, if you are not using modals, if you are not using cards, you are only using the buttons, but you will still be importing all the codes that you are not using, like modals. And for the custom design, you will be writing custom CSS. And again, writing custom CSS, we have already seen that there are few problems with that. So the solution to all these problems we discussed is Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind CSS offers everything you need. And now let's try to understand what is exactly Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind CSS is a utility first framework which offers utility classes. Unlike Bootstrap, it does not offer you buttons, cards, or modal. Instead of buttons, instead of modals, instead of card classes, you will be provided small utility classes. So you can design everything you need. And Tailwind CSS is also open source and free to use. You can even contribute to their project. How it works. So you will not be provided with custom buttons or custom cards. Instead, you will be writing utility classes. So for example, you want to create a button. Instead of using a btn class or btn primary class, you will have to write something like this one. So as you can see, now we have three buttons: primary, secondary, and call to action. So to create this button, we have to add the classes like this one. So we have px5, py2, rounded lg, and same the other classes we need. So if you remember that we designed a card for a blog post with custom CSS, and if we are going to design that in Tailwind CSS, we will have to add a few classes, something like this one. So we have BG white, overflow hidden, max width access, and we have object cover, width full, and same like that we have other classes to design the same card. So now let's move forward and let's try to understand the benefits of Tailwind CSS. The first benefit is that you don't have to invent a new class name, and you don't have to scratch your head to think about a new class name whenever you are designing something. And the other thing is that you don't have to jump between your HTML and CSS files. So if you remember, when you're writing custom CSS, you have to go to the CSS file, you have to write the class, and you have to go back to the HTML again. So whenever you're designing with the Tailwind CSS, you don't have to jump between your files. And also Tailwind CSS provides so many classes for responsiveness. So you have different screen sizes, and you have different classes for that. So SM, medium, MD, large, LG, XL, extra large. And also you don't have to learn a lot of new things in Tailwind CSS, because all the class names are descriptive. So as you can see, we have PL2, we have ML2. PL stand for padding left, ML stand for margin left, rounded full means adding border radius, and so on. And if you're using Tailwind CSS, you don't have to worry about the unused code in production. So Tailwind CSS is actually scanning your HTML files and then generating code for it. So you don't have to worry about the unused code. And the documentation is well written. I really like the documentation because it contains so much examples. Other benefits of using Tailwind CSS is that every websites you will design have a very unique design. Other than that, if you're using Figma and you have a component library there, you can translate that component library, the design system, into your HTML or React project. Other than that, Tailwind also offers customization with super ease, that you don't have to worry about adding new classes. You don't have to worry about adding new colors. It is super easy in Tailwind CSS. Other than that, you have dark classes to support the dark mode in your websites. You can also use your one project code in another project code, because you will just have to change the colors. You may have to just change the font sizes. So this will work in the other projects if you have worked on a Tailwind CSS project at once. And it is super easy to maintain Tailwind CSS code, because you are not writing long custom styles. And the production build is going to be very small, because you are not going to have any unused code, and all the classes are going to be reused. So for example, you are using px 5 times, the px class is going to be written just once. And if you're using component based framework like React or Vue, this is going to be very helpful, because you can design a component and then you can use those components over and over again. And if you want to give it a try, just go to play.tailwindcss.com and you will find a playground there where you can edit, you can change, you can design anything you want. I hope this video has helped you understand why Tailwind CSS is getting so much popular, why people are preferring Tailwind CSS over writing custom CSS, and what are the benefits of using Tailwind CSS. I will see you in another video.